Carried, thank you. Okay, our next item is subdivision 2018-01, Acadia Landing, request to amend conditions of approval.
On March 6, 2024, the Planning and Zoning Department received a request to amend conditions of approval for the Acadia Landing subdivision, a cluster subdivision consisting of 234 single-family lots, private roads, open space, and stormwater management. The final subdivision plan was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their meeting of Thursday, May 28, 2020. Specifically, the request is for the Commission to provide clarification regarding Condition G of the conditions of approval relating to the establishment of the forested/landscape buffer, which states, as stated by the applicant, a 50-foot buffer shall be shown along all boundaries. Within this buffer, a depth of at least 30 feet shall be landscaped with vegetation. The final site plan shall contain a landscape plan for all of the buffer areas. The applicant has submitted a revised record plan with the proposed amended Condition G language to read, as proposed by the applicant, a 50-foot buffer shall be provided along all boundaries. Within this buffer, a depth of at least 20 feet shall be landscaped with vegetation and shown as a 20-foot landscape buffer. The final site plan shall contain a landscape plan for all of the buffer areas. Additionally, the applicant has requested to amend Condition H of the conditions of approval, which states, as proposed by the applicant, a pool and clubhouse shall be constructed. The clubhouse shall be a minimum size of 3,500 square feet when constructed. Both the pool and the clubhouse shall be completed prior to the issuance of the 90th residential building permit, and they're requesting that that be amended to require both the pool and the clubhouse shall be completed prior to the issuance of the 140th residential building permit. The proposed amended language is consistent with current code requirements, which require all amenities to be completed by the issuance of the residential building permit, representing 60% of the total residential building permits for the subdivision. The property is located on the south side of Conley's Chapel Road and the east side of Dorman Road. The tax parcels are District 234, Map 11, parcels 60 and 60.02, and the zoning district is AR1, Agricultural Residential District. And I will note that the final subdivision plan did show a 50-foot buffer based on active agriculture surrounding the property, and also concerns that were raised as part of the public hearing process. And I will also note that the landscape plan, as originally approved, showed a 30-foot landscape buffer, which complied with that condition, and that the 30-foot landscape buffer is a requirement for lots abutting agricultural areas under 115.25E3 of the code.
Sounds like, so they, what hardship is precipitating them coming back to us for this? Did they cite anything?
They did not.
Okay.
I'm not grasping what they're asking for. What are they asking for relief from?
So they are asking to take that 30-foot buffer to a 20-foot buffer.
Shrinking it.
Is this in the area where townhomes are already sold, or units are already sold?
It's around the entire perimeter of the property, so is my understanding.
It includes, I take it that the dots are units that have been sold?
Correct. So at the moment, the threshold for the amenities is the 90th building permit. And we're at 85 building permits with about 8 pending right now. So they've hit that threshold. And then the second question is how many folks have actually completed homes in there? I'm counting about 68 homes have actually been CO'd in there and are complete.
So these little dots all along here are units that are occupied.
Correct. The ones
lots, yeah.
Correct. They're lots that have been sold.
The orange squares, they're all completed. And then,
well, Commissioners, here's the issue with that. There are people who have laid their money down based on what was in the original plan, and now we're being asked to allow them to do something different. And I have a little problem with that without a public hearing.
I concur.
That's just me. I mean, if there weren't any, but if there had not been any lots sold or anything like that, I would take a different view. But I think we owe it to the people who have purchased there to at least let them weigh in on.
And the protection of the farmers that are there.
Agreed.
If we're reducing that.
Yeah, so I think we've got enough here to.
Yeah, I would just say, I don't know, looking at this with the, that's a nice soundtrack.
That's the planning. That's the planning and zoning angel or
I don't know that there's any farmland around it anymore, so I don't know that that's relevant, but, because it looks like it's been developed.
I think everything's been developed around it, but that is, the issue for me is that, people have,
Well, there's some
purchased
lots
with
here,
a.
Yeah, those are
though.
larger
Are they being
lots,
farmed, these
yeah.
lots right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been sold. They've been.
Either way, there's an expectation people have
Yeah.
of these conditions. So
Just my concern is that any time that we're changing something, being asked to change something that affects people who have purchased under one set of circumstances, and now we're being asked to change those circumstances, they need to have the opportunity to weigh in.
So
Maybe,
can I make a motion that we actually defer decision on this and schedule it for a public hearing?
Or you could just deny it, and if they want to challenge it, they can apply for a public hearing. I think that's probably.
Yeah, that would be it. I mean, you just deny it, and then if they want to take it to a public hearing, they certainly can.
And so my motion is to deny
Okay.
the request.
Second.
For
Does that also include the amenities proposals?
Indeed.
Okay,
all of the above.
okay, thank you. Just wanted to clarify
Yeah,
that.
so my motion is.
I didn't really have a problem with the amenities.
Well, yeah, I was going to say,
No, I don't have a problem with the amenities.
I think the amenity, or the issue with the amenities is when they're going to be built. And that's a fair statement that consistently we have been asking for about 60%.
We actually changed the code, and the
Yeah.
code now is at 60%.
Yeah, there's a code, so that's now a code
Yeah.
provision. So
have
if
a
that's
problem
what
with
they're
amenities.
asking to come under the code, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Right.
do that. And then if they want to come back on the buffer issue with a public hearing, they're welcome to do that. Again, the concern being that folks need to have an opportunity to
Agreed.
One thing that I thought, that I just want to make sure I'm clear on, Mr. DeVore, you stated that the landscape plan that was submitted originally showed 30 feet being landscaped, that they submitted, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so they're coming off what was proffered by them as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what, and now they're coming back with something.
Not that
different.
we just unilaterally proposed it.
Right.
They proffered it, we required it, and now they're requesting a change to what not only we required, but they offered.
Which did people
Correct.
buying actually rely on that as well?
I'm sure that's the site plan they looked at.
Yeah.
And I will say this, the other thing, bigger picture, is the county is looking at getting a lot more specific on its buffer requirements and maintaining vegetation and
Yeah.
plantings and everything else. So the county as a whole is looking to expand, not
Good
contract
point.
buffers. So.
Agreed. Okay, so I think I have a mixed motion, right?
Take a shot at it.
All right, so let's see here.
We'll help you.
Regarding 2018-01 Acadia Landing, request to amend conditions of approval, I am making the motion that we deny the request for relief from the buffer requirements stated in the original approval, and I move that we approve the request to modify the amenities requirements to align with county code.
I second the motion. Good job.
Let's see if I can repeat it. It's been moved and seconded to grant the request to amend the threshold for having the amenities completed to comply with the county code, and to deny the request to make changes in the buffers for Chapel Farm. It's conditional use number 2193. All those in favor, say aye.
That was Acadia.
For Acadia.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read the wrong one. Yeah, for subdivision 2018-01, Acadia Landing. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.